Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Cobbin, with Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boating with Tomorrow's Pros Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy.
And I'm Denise. And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
Hey, good morning, and here we go, man. Shabbat. You know what? I saw a video back in the day, and this guy, we're going to formally introduce the man, the myth, the legend, Alan Barnes here in a minute. Coach Barnes, by the way.
Coach.
CB Radio,
CB.
Channel 19, baby. But there was a video back in the day, and this guy, it was like some dude that was this, you know, like you hear about these rappers, but it's like, and I guess they're kind of a big deal, but I never heard of them.
Me neither.
And this dude, hold on, let me crank my volume down. And this dude was like, I don't know, man. He was throwing money, and he was like, and the funniest part of it, it was a pool table. I don't even know how. See, this is how you were asking, like, what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a dude pool table and throwing money down. And it was a rapper. He was just throwing like $100 bills on the pool table. And then he looks and he goes, Benjamin Franklin, them ain't none of your friends. So
Who is that?
I had no idea. See, he was one of these guys. And the reason I thought of it, because when we came, his videos, he started making fun of himself. And it was called Ben Had. And so it was originally Ben Had Money. So then he came up with another one called
He don't have money anymore.
No, and he came up with another one called Ben Had Aluminum Cans. And he would take the aluminum cans like he was throwing money, but they were all crushed. And he went and he was throwing aluminum cans. He's like, I've been had aluminum cans. And then he would always say, cameraman, get on this. And then he would go, shapow. And that's where I was coming at, because when we started the show, I wanted to come on and say, shapow.
How long ago was that?
Man, this was like probably 10 years ago. So I deleted it years ago, but when I have my IT company, you know, computer memory, the RAM sticks, we had so many pieces of RAM from old computers. And so I had I stuffed them in my pocket, in my pant, like my shirt pocket, my pants pockets. And I had the guy that used to run my front of my store for me. I was like, Raphael, let's have some fun with this, because he laughed at the video too. And so I was like, cameraman, get in on here on this. And I started pulling RAM out, and I started throwing the RAM like this. I was like, I've been had RAM. I was like, camera, shapow. And I just threw the RAM everywhere.
You need to come over to student ministry. I'll tell you.
So
they'll update you on some more people too.
So welcome in as we get rolling here. Beautiful, beautiful Thursday, a thankful Thursday, episode 283. And our good friend, Mr. Alan Barnes, joining us. Is it Coach Barnes or Alan Barnes?
Everything.
So
all the things.
Alan Barnes over at AOA. We'll talk a little bit about coaching this morning, if that's all right. We'll talk about his role at FBC Huntsville, First Baptist Huntsville, where he's our worship leader. Man, we just got so much going on this morning. We want to welcome you in. Let us know that you're out there. I know we're starting a little bit late this morning, and man, I'm going to tell you, K-Boning, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I told you that we were going to start at 7:30 this morning. And, man, I love having children because you get to use them as an excuse sometimes.
Yeah,
and so
I don't have any excuses.
Alan was here early. He's like, Rob, where are you, man? But we were this morning, you know, Bridget she ended up not having to work yesterday after we thought she would. And so we thought the same, because the power has been out where she works at. It's been out at our house too, and but then she got a call, so we were just kind of expecting that maybe she wouldn't go this morning. And then, like right before 7, which is the time I leave, they were like, "Hey, we need you to come in." Yeah, and I was like, "I'm going to be late." So,
yep.
But I got the kids. Bridget got the kids going. I helped get them going, and here we are. So we're rocking and rolling with Alan Barnes this morning. So
rocking and rolling.
Got a great show lined up. Let us know that you're out there this morning as we get started here on this Thankful Thursday. A big shout out to everyone that's already chiming in. Do us a huge favor. Hit like, hit share as we promote and celebrate the good happening in our community. We hope you're waking up and doing well. And let us know that you're out there. We'll get to those comments. Some of them already coming in this morning. As we get started, too, a big thank you, as always, to Paul Oley of the Gallery. Paul, we love you, man. Thank you for the space. And big shout-out to Elliot Herzlich at Elliot's Jewelers and online at elliotsjewelers.com. We'll talk more about our Raise a Hope event coming up next Thursday as well on the back end of the show. So make sure you stay locked in for that. We've got some hourly sponsor spots left for that to come out and help bless the community. And as always, First Baptist here with us on Thursday, and that's why we call it Thankful. We called it Thankful Thursday before.
Thankful Thursday.
But now it's a really Thankful Thursday. So
because I'm here.
Because AB is in the house. So before we get started, we've already put the call into TDCJ this morning, the count call, so they know this isn't the official count call. But Alan Barnes is here. He got excited when I saw his eyes. He was like, man, what is that?
Yeah, I'm about
So this right here is a special treat, courtesy of Rick Boning, 0 Degree Candy. And, you know, he brought me a horn one day, and he said, Rob, put that on your truck. And I said, you know what, even better, man. I noticed it's got an air tube. Why put it on my truck when the good Lord gave you breath of your own? So we use this as our first-time guest horn on the show. And
all right.
Here we go. 2 toots for Alan this morning. I just like to say
toots.
I like to say 2 toots every time we have a guest. So here we go. All right. Alan's like, what did
When
I
I come on here next time, it's not going to be that, right?
No, it's done. It's done, man. So
Somebody didn't warn me. Pastor Jason, shout out to you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
he got it too one time. Yeah, I think even Dr. Jones got it.
Yeah.
So, Miss Johnson, good morning to you. Lita Thompson joining us this morning. It's great to see her on. And before we dig in, we want to get to know Alan a little bit here in a moment. I do want to give a special shout out. I know, Miss Thompson, you don't want to be lifted up on a pedestal, but I want to give a special shout out this morning to Miss Thompson. She reached out and said, and she's over at the Senior Villages of Huntsville, and she said, Rob, I've got a friend over here that's power got turned off. Is there anything that we can do? And it was because of her and the faithfulness of this community, the faithfulness of the Lord, number one, but the faithfulness of this community coming together, we were able to raise some funds to help get this lady's power back on. We'd have never known about that if it wasn't for Miss Thompson, and that's just her heart. She always wants to help people and love people. And let me say this, we're positive on this show.
Absolutely.
But, I'd put out there, hey, we're just trying to, and like the first 5 responses I got, well, they can go here and get assistance and all that. Mm-hmm. Yes, they can, but they don't know about that. Right. The problem is when your power gets turned off, you don't have time to wait for the assistance to get it turned back on, the application process.
There's a process, yeah, exactly.
So this was an elderly lady, a senior citizen that hadn't had power over a week, and she just didn't know what to do, and she had started staying with another friend at that apartment complex over there. And so we said, look, and this is we always have inspiration on the show, Alan. Here's the inspiration this morning. If there's someone that reaches out, try to meet their needs as quickly as you can, and then provide the resources so it doesn't happen again. Mm-hmm. So that's what we try to do. We said, look, we're going to help you as a community get this power turned back on for you, but then we're also going to connect you with the resources to help you in the future if something comes up. So it's easy to say, oh, well, if somebody needs food, it's easy to say, oh, go to Good Shepherd Mission. Do one better and say, what do you need? What can I bring you? Bring them the food and then tell them about, hey, here's what you can do in the future. If you need help, you can reach back out to me, but here's the resources to help.
Right, right, exactly.
You got to meet people where they're at. And I know if I was in that situation, my power was turned off, I wouldn't want to, no offense to the application process, but I wouldn't want to wait another 3 or 4 days. Like,
Correct.
Get my power on now, please.
Absolutely.
And then tell me what I need to do in the future.
Absolutely, to prevent that.
Yep. So, well, Alan is here with us. Alan, man, you've been in this community for a whole minute. I think you were, born down in the Houston area? Is that right?
Yeah. I got here in 2012 for college. I was a super senior, so it took me 5.5 years. I changed my major and all that stuff too, but I graduated in 2017 and stuck around.
Well, let us know a little bit, because, you and I mean, obviously we're on staff together, and I get to know you and hang out with you a little bit, and you do such a tremendous job. The Lord has blessed you. I joke around. I'm going to say it publicly. I joke around. Torrin Wells is going to be calling this guy one day.
Here we go.
And we're going to do everything that we can to keep Alan around when Torrin calls. But if he does, we're going to pray for Alan and say, man, the best is always yet to come. And if you don't know Torrin Wells, go look him up. Dove Award-winning Christian artist, just an amazing man. He and his wife Lorna actually now live up in my old town in Georgetown, and they started a church called Church of Whitestone, and it's a pretty cool thing about just God's faithfulness and remaining in faith. What's going to happen? But Alan, I mean, let us know a little bit about your story, because I've never really asked you kind of your story. We don't have to dig into all the details, but
you don't want to know.
Yeah, but just kind of let us know the rundown of Alan Barnes. I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but guess what? You're going to talk a little bit about yourself this morning, so we get to know you.
That's totally fine, man. The gist of it is I got to Huntsville 2012. I gave my life to the Lord. A year later, I had to go through some freshman years, if some of you know what I'm talking about. But
we call him PJ, pre-Jesus.
Yeah, pre-Jesus, absolutely. But it's crazy because I've been a musician and I served in churches since I was about 7 years old, but that almost really meant nothing to me at the moment. But I gave my life to the Lord back in 2013, and it's been a crazy experience with churches and getting to love the local church and also coaching. So I got to First Baptist in 2016 it was also the same year that I started coaching. So I literally kind of put that together a few weeks ago. I was like, man, I started coaching the same year that I joined the church. So I joined the church about August that year, and then I started coaching in August that year as well. But I started working at the church in our Family Life Center right across from our main building. And in the gym and the rec center. Shout out Miss Phyllis Dillard. She gave me my first job at the church. Love you forever and always. and she's also on staff at the church as well.
See, we got the Huntsville PD, which are great people, and then we got the FBC PD, which is the real PD.
Absolutely. But no, it's been an amazing journey and experience. I started working, and then I got into the college minister role in 2020, which was a fantastic year to start. They were like, Alan, would you like to start when everything is shut down? Absolutely. But it did give me some time to plan and just get to know people. And actually, this was really funny. A few weeks ago, during graduations, was a freshman young man that I met. He was my last of my first people to graduate that I had. He's sticking around for a little bit as well. But he was one of the kind of, man, I had about 20 people at some point. And just meeting small group wise and just starting to really try to build that up back then, 4 years ago. And he's one of my last, we call it the last of the Mohicans, if you will. And I was like, man, it's kind of bittersweet. But since then, I've turned that over to a young couple that has just been doing a tremendous job. So it's just been an awesome experience since then, coaching for going on 8 years. Shout out Alpha Omega, Jeff Norris, best head coach a man could ever ask for. And then working my way up there and coaching defense and assisting him as best as I can.
So you went, again, Alan Barnes joining us here, coach over at AOA and also a worship pastor at FBC Huntsville. And, man, Alan, you went to Sam, right?
I did.
So you came here from Houston to Sam Houston. Mm-hmm. Was it kinesiology? Is that what you studied?
It was biology at first, and I had I switched out of that, which I was in a pre-med route, and really I didn't really know what I wanted to do for about a year and a half. And I thought I wanted to go that direction, and I went to something a little bit more similar. So that had a lot to do with sports as well, kind of in the same category.
So that's how it all came about.
That's how we got it.
When did you get the call, or maybe, let us know about the connection to Alpha Omega Academy? They do such a great job, and those folks are so good here in this community, like so many other organizations. Yeah. But how did that connection to AOA kind of come about?
It happened like that. It's really crazy. What's funny was I was over here working one day, and I was getting ready to close, and Miss Phillips was out that day. And she didn't know this, by the way. I'm telling her myself. But anyway, I kind of closed up like 20 minutes early. I'm sorry. But she hopefully she's texting right now.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, man, it came in right away.
Anyway, but our friend, our student pastor over there, we got to know each other very well, Garrett Sims. He invited me. He's like, hey, so he was coaching that year. That was his first year coaching. And I didn't really know. And he told me a few weeks before. And I was like, man, I was like, man, that sounds awesome. And so he says, man, are you doing anything today? He says, you want to come out to practice with me and just hang out? And I was like, yeah, man, sure. So 20 minutes early, left. We pulled up there and got to meet Jeff, and there was already some different groups going around as far as individual time, working with linemen and all these other deals. And then it's me. It's funny because me and Jeff actually discussed this story, and he's like, I don't remember that. I was like, I remember vividly. And he asked me, he says, so what position, did you play football in high school? I was like, yeah. Did you play in college? I'm like, no. And pre-med, you didn't have time for that. I remember my advisor at the time, I think his name was Jack Turner. He asked me, he's like, hey, you playing this word? He goes, good, you won't have time for that stuff. And I didn't.
He had the sweet brown button where it said, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Well, when you come in as a freshman in the fall and your first deal is, they're like 17 hours. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. That's more than full time. And so that was like that for a whole year. And so I'm talking with Jeff in the middle of the field, and he asked me, what position did I play? And I said, defensive line. He goes, you? I'm 5'2", just in case you don't know. I do look tall in this chair. But he says, what school did you go to? I said, North Shore. So I went to North Shore Senior High, class of 2012. And he said, what, you went to North Shore? And I was like, yes, sir. He goes, oh, man, would you like to go, like, just kind of hang out with those kids? I was like, yeah. So that was my interview. So I went, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's like, man, you want to come aboard? And next thing you know, like, I think a week and a half later, we have our first game.
Wow.
So that's how that deal happened, and it's been an ongoing deal since.
Well, let me backpedal a little bit. Again, Alan Barnes here with us. He's coach over at Alpha Omega Academy, also worship pastor at First Baptist Huntsville. we talked about that connection to AOA. So this connection to AOA kind of happened a little bit after getting the job at the Family Life Center here at FBC.
Yeah.
Can you maybe tell us about that journey? How did that come about then at the Family Life Center? Was Phyllis hanging out on the side of the road saying, hey, I need somebody to come in? What happened?
What's crazy is that all these stories are just ridiculous. They don't just happen. So I had one of our professors who was a member of our church at the time. He said he came in, and I didn't know this because this is my first semester, Gary Oden. And I'm taking this class, and he says, he comes into the class. He didn't say anything about kinesiology. He says, hey, real quick before we get started, there's a lady at my church who maybe needs some help and looking for people who if they want a job or what have you. And so I'm like, I'm looking for a job, I guess. I mean, I might earn a little money, especially working in a church would be good for me. So I signed my name on a deal. He gave her my name, and then I think there's another young man that signed up as well. And it was just us two. We ended up getting a job and working together. And I met Phyllis later. This was a few days after my birthday in January that year. And so happy birthday to me. I got a job. So started working, kept my head down, and then I ended up meeting. Actually, I met him first. That's when I did meet Garrett. When I would first go up to the church, and I tell him this all the time, and I said, hey, I'm looking for Phyllis. I don't know. They were like, oh, they were in the student room at the time, and they were just the first people who saw him and his wife, Allison. And I said, is Phyllis around? They said, oh, no, she's not here at the moment. She'll be back soon. Are you Alan? I said, yeah, how do you know me? So it's like, oh, yeah, she was excited.
We've been waiting for you.
And so I was like, oh, man, these some weird people. Anyway, so and then they ended up being some of my best friends. So, and then, like I said, he was serving in student ministry at the time. And then I remember that was January. Then February ensues. We got to know each other just a little bit. And then one of the students invited me because I got to know her and her mom, the Owens. And they said, hey, we're having a birthday party for their daughter, Cassidy. And I said, oh, yeah, they were having a little deal in the gym, volleyball party and all that because she was big in volleyball. And I said, sure, I'd come. And where Garrett's office was, we were just hanging out in there. And he had a guitar in the room, and I just started plucking at it and singing. And he said, man, you play guitar? He said, and I said, and I can sing. And he goes, oh, man, that's great. Hey, would you like to help us out on Wednesday nights with our student ministry? I said, sure, why not? That's not what I came up there for. So that's how that story, that's literally the beginnings of that whole deal. And then I did some deals over the summer. We just got really close to one another, and I started actually being a leader and serving as a leader in student ministry as well. And then as time went on, here I am.
Wow. Didn't
think that would happen. So if you're looking for a job, Bearcats, go to your teachers and ask if anybody needs some help at the church.
You never know what doors
then
open,
you end up being a ministry.
Yeah. Well, Alan, I love the story and the journey, man. And again, it speaks a lot just to remaining in faith. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's somebody this morning that's not a believer that's watching, and that's okay. And maybe you are. And I say this too. Maybe this morning you're hurt, you're broken, you don't know where to turn, you don't know where to go. And I want to encourage you first and foremost, just pray. And even if you don't have to know how to pray, just pray and say, Lord, open up a door, lead me somewhere,
Absolutely.
Show me something. And
Absolutely.
I guarantee that it may not happen right then, it may not happen in an hour, it may not even happen in a year, but remain in that faith, and I guarantee you're going to see things happen in your life.
And the cool part of it is,
just like you, man.
He'll meet you where you are.
That's right.
You don't have to go to him. The veil was torn top to bottom. We serve a God that is a relational God, and he is Emmanuel, God with us, not us trying to get to him, but he came down. To my knowledge, that's the only God that has ever done that.
Yeah.
The one true and living God, right?
Well, it's cool getting to know Alan this morning. Again, just sharing his story. We're gonna take a break here in a minute. We got our keyword today, giving away something. Alan, I'm kind of torn. I don't know if I should give away a gift card to Cafe Texan or some cash today. What would you want, man? If somebody could give you, what option would you pick?
How much cash are we talking about?
was hoping you say gift card.
All right, gift card.
Gift card.
That's what he wanted me to say.
Because that cash comes out of my pocket. So.
Yeah, my shirt buzzed.
Yeah, I have a little button right here on the seat.
Buzz, gift card, gift card.
So we're giving away
Gift card would be good.
Cafe Texas gift card today, $25, and all you got to do is text in our keyword. We'll have that in a minute. When we come back to, I want to hear more about the music journey, if that's cool, Alan.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get to know a little bit about Alan's music journey. Maybe some of you this morning are watching, and
absolutely,
maybe you got the itch for music, but you don't know how to get started. Well, Alan's going to share his story. Maybe that'll inspire you to put that foot down. You got to get off the couch and move.
Right.
So
right.
Our keyword continues this week, and it is Magnolia in honor of Magnolia Kennel. And we appreciate Steph Valley and the great folks over at Magnolia Kennel. By the way, if you're heading out for the 4th of July, make sure you get those doggies boarded now. Go ahead and schedule them because she gets very busy. It's Magnolia Kennel online at magnoliakennel.com is where you can get more information. That is brought to you by our friends. Our phone and text line is 0 Degree Creations phone and text line, $25 gift card to Cafe Texan. And all you have to do is text in the keyword Magnolia along with your name. It's Magnolia, Magnolia along with your name. And we got a $25 gift card, possibly, if you win, coming your way today. Text that in at 936-339-0139. Again, that number, 936-339-0139. As always, our shows on Thursday brought to you by our friends at First Baptist. We'd love to have you come for service come to study at 9:30 and service at 10:45 on Sundays. Alan's looking at me like, man, I'm all stumbled up on what time to go. You know what? Just show up. Show up at 8 o'clock. Somebody, I may be there. Alan may be there. So,
you're on time if you're 5 minutes early.
That's right.
You're late if you're on time.
We'll take a quick break. More to come. We'll have listen at our sponsors. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us. More to come. It's your show here on a Thankful Thursday. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Welcome to Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville, where we've been caring for your furry family members for over 4 decades. Nestled at 877 IH 45 South, our kennel is a perfect retreat for your pet. With a climate-controlled facility, spacious exercise yards, we ensure a comfortable and enjoyable stay. At Magnolia Kennel, we offer a range of options including overnight boarding, extended stay boarding, and doggy day out. But that's not all. We also provide additional pampering services like baths and nail care to keep your pets looking and feeling their best. Making a reservation is a breeze at magnoliakennel.com. We take great pride in our dedication to the community, supporting our local fire departments by providing oxygen pet masks. Stay connected and enjoy adorable pet updates by following us on Facebook. Magnolia Kennel of Huntsville is where dogs get to be dogs. Visit us at magnoliakennel.com to book your pet's next stay. We can't wait to meet your 4-legged family members.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Here we grow again. Tomorrow's Promise is excited to announce our third location to better serve the families of Walker County and surrounding areas. At Tomorrow's Promise, we are more than just childcare. We pride ourselves on partnering with parents and creating a place where every child is respected, loved, and nurtured in the highest quality environment. See what makes us the perfect fit for your child and their needs. Schedule a tour and learn more about Montessori.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tpms.live for more information. Education you can trust. The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Back at it now, 8:26. If you had to be at work at 8 o'clock, you don't have a job. So just mosey on over to the FLC over there, and maybe Phyllis will hook you up like you did Alan. Maybe, right? I mean, I don't know, right? You know,
you don't have a job.
Yeah, you don't have it. 8:26. Now, if you show up with Sanders Kitchen breakfast taco, did you eat one of those one day when I brought them?
You brought them. I was. Man,
have you had them before?
No, before that, no. So, I had not.
You know, and someone the other day said, you know, we need to support local, and I don't go to the big places anymore. And I started thinking, you know what, the big places, though, they need businesses just as much as the little places need it too. Don't get me wrong. But the big places also employ people.
Right.
You know, some people are really nervous about this. I'm excited about it, about Texas Roadhouse coming in.
I am.
I'm excited about it, but you know what? I'm still going to go to 1836 because they got great food. Absolutely. I'm still going to support local.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Once in a while right now, I drive down the road to Texas Roadhouse. Now I don't have to drive down the road.
We're blessed to just be part of, hey, shout out Farmhouse, Five Loaves Deli right here. I mean, it's great. It's very, very convenient. I'm an eater. I'm an eater. So I eat anything local, far, whatever, doesn't matter.
I saw Alan, I told you this story one day. It was funny. I was driving in over here because usually I'm here, fairly early, and I saw this dude jogging, and I asked you, I was like, man, is that you? Were you jogging? Like, nah, I'm not the one jogging, and it wasn't you. I thought it was.
If you had a shirt off, no, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I was like,
these
man.
people are really fit, and I'm just no. I studied health fitness, didn't do it.
You just leave it at that. I studied it, but I didn't do it. There you go, man. Well, hey, we want to welcome you back in. Before we ask Alan a little bit more about his music journey, I wanted to get some of the comments coming in this morning. Great morning so far. Our good friend Jamie Saucier over Saucier Woodworks is on with us saying good morning. He did our sign, Alan. Really cool stuff. And I've actually asked him, I've got an idea for FBC that I wanted him to work on, and I need to send that over to you, Jamie, but he's such a great woodworker, and we've got three guys that I know in town that do a great job. It's Jamie, Saucier Woodworks. It's Scott Valley at Pop Pop's Wood Shop. I just like the name of that, Pop Pop's Wood Shop.
Come on.
And then the third one is Blaine McAdams Creations, and all three of those guys are just great guys.
Love it.
But we appreciate you. Thanks for joining us this morning. Jennifer Augustinetti saying good morning. Thankful Thursday. Thankful for all the linemen that have been working hard to get our power back on. Y'all have a blessed day. Amen to that. Did you lose power where you're at, Alan?
I did, but I was out all day hanging out with some students, going to the movies down at Conroe and all this other stuff, and going out to eat. We went to Freddy's. And by the time I got back home that night, everything was back on. So that's what you do. You just keep busy, and it'll come on eventually at some point. Busy. But I'd be miserable if I sat down all day and just waited for it to happen, you know?
See, Pete, I appreciate a lot of friends have reached out to Bridget and I saying, hey, do y'all need anything? And in fact, had a lady this morning, can I bring y'all something to eat? And we are fine. You know, we appreciate that so much. In fact, I had some friends yesterday inviting us over to their house to come, said, hey, y'all come over here and stay the night, do your laundry, eat. And we appreciate that. So I don't want to offend anybody by saying no thank you, but we're okay right now. Yeah. And you know, we're blessed. Our property, we're in this little lot out in the back part of Elkins, but we're blessed because our neighbors all have big trees. We don't have any trees, but our neighbors do. And that shade helps keep the house a little bit cooler. And I had a little cheap, man, Harbor Freight don't let you. You ever go to Harbor Freight?
Been over there a few times.
Knockofftools.com is the website address. I think, you know, fake tools, but they work.com. I shouldn't be hating. You know, Billy always said, he said, Bubba, that's somebody's business. But I buy from them. Yeah. So I bought some little, this was last year. I needed it for my sports broadcasting. Broadcasting now for New Waverly, you go to these small communities, you don't know if you're going to have power or not. So I bought a little small Predator, little portable generator. Normally those Honda versions of that's like $7.99. This thing was like $3.99. I think I was on sale for like $2.49.
That's what I'm talking about.
Something crazy,
that's my type of deal.
Yeah. But that thing is enough to power our refrigerator at the house. So I got it powered up. I've got a light powered up and 2 fans and a TV and the internet. If the internet would work, AT&T went down too finally. But that's enough. And so combined with all that in the shade of the trees, Alan, those fans running, our house hasn't gotten up to 80 degrees. It's been like 78, 79, which ain't bad. Yeah. Now for Bridget and I, it's kind of we look at it kind of bad because we keep the house at like 67. You walk into our house, it's an ice box.
Let me tell you what, that's me too. Like, I don't touch my thermostat. It'll be freezing inside. Like it froze a few years ago. My thermostat was still on 60, whatever. I do have a fireplace in my deal as well, but I don't touch my thermostat. I'm like that, man. I'd rather be cold than hot. And
see, Alan has it in his. He has the fireplace, but I know what you do is you go to the store and you buy dry ice to make it like the effect of their smoke coming out, right, man?
Who am I trying to impress? There's nobody but me and my dog. So no, it's funny because I'll tell people, you know, you can layer up a lot, but it's only so much you can take off, you know, especially in public. So. I keep it as an icebox. You know?
You ain't gonna see no SpongeBob SquarePants boxer man running down the street in Allen Bars.
No. You're not even gonna see me running.
More folks joining us today. Tammy Trotter, good morning to you. She's over at Tomorrow's Promise. Good morning, Tammy. Great to see you. Lewis Murphy, do you know who this is, Alan? That's a new listener this morning. Never seen them before. Lewis
Shout
Murphy.
Out. Hey, it's maybe our first time. Is your first time? My first time. Good morning, Lewis.
Lewis Murphy joining us, saying good morning, guys. Some lady named Deborah Wyan. Never heard of her. Deborah Wyan. Don't know who she is. No. Never heard of her. So. Just kidding, Deborah. You know we love you. Deborah's joining us. She listens in. She never texts. She never messages in, though. So see, it's because Alan's here. She finally said, what's up?
She apparently one kid called her a pooper in children's ministry. That was funny, and it was our own executive admin's grandson.
How do you get called that?
Don't be a pooper, Deborah.
Yeah, Deborah. Come on, man. Come on, Deborah.
Love you, Deborah.
Miss Thompson joining us. We gave her a shout out earlier. Appreciate you. It's a good friend of mine, Joshua Harris, back north of the Austin area. He's with Oak Ridge Disciple House. Nice. And sending in a message. Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Huntsville, and good morning, Jesus. Let's have a great day.
Come on.
So. Love you, Josh, man. And, man, I want to get Josh back on here sometime to share his story and his testimony, man. He's 19. And, Josh, don't mind me talking about this because it's part of his story that God has just so tremendously and richly blessed him. And you talk about whenever I come on and say, you know, we don't deserve to be blessed. I mean, this is a story, and Josh will tell you the same thing, man. But he's been sober now for 19 years.
Wow.
God, and I love what Joshua says. He says, you know what, you don't ever get over it. But in a relationship with the Lord, you learn how to go through it.
Yeah.
And man, he was taken to a place called Denver City, Texas. He thought he was going to Colorado. He's like, man, bring the skis, let's go. And this was 19 years ago, ended up in Denver City. And it was because of a pastor that he knew that reached out to him and said, I know you're hurting, and I know you need help. And Joshua, and again, Josh, don't mind me sharing the story, but literally tried to take his own life. He was in a hotel room for 3 days.
Wow.
Doing drugs and trying to end it, and it's just an incredible story. And I want to have Josh back on to share it. But long story short, Joshua goes to Denver City, Texas, through this ministry recovery house. He decides, man, God put this on his heart to start his own. Started this thing, and they have graduated, I think now, Josh, and correct me if I'm wrong if you're still listening, but over 130 guys, almost a 90% success rate in an industry that normally it's only 5% or so.
Yeah, wow.
And another thing about it is, in the normal industry, in the recovery industry, and I'm not knocking any of them, I'm just saying a lot of times it is about money. And, man, some of these places are charging $10,000, $20,000 a month. Joshua will tell them, look, man, it's only a few $600 a month, and if you ain't got it, we'll find somebody to pay it.
Right.
And money is not an issue. And he only takes 11 guys at once. He jokes around and says, I got 12 beds. I got one waiting for you, Rob, if you ever need it. That's his joke to me. But he's got 11, guys there at the house. And I'll never forget, Alan, I walked around this house with him, and I said, man, you got so much land here. You could expand this and build these buildings. He's like, nope. He goes, it don't work like that. It works when I got just 11 guys, 12 guys, because it's that small setting.
It's the intimacy.
The intimacy
right,
is what brings us through it. And,
right.
and of course, the Lord. And he tells the guys straight up, he goes, if you're willing to have a relationship with Jesus and you're willing to give 6 months to a year of your life, he goes, we can find it. We can find help for you. And he's very strict with how he runs it. Those guys get up at 5 a.m. They go to chapel. They start working, serving the community. And I think they go to bed at 9 or 10 at night.
Wow!
And it's just a daily thing. And I don't want to say daily grind because it's not. It is a grind for those guys.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you. And the reason I brought all this up, because obviously Joshua texted and sent in a good morning to us. But the reason I brought it up is because it goes to show again, when you are in faith, these men, some of them don't even know who the Lord is, but they've came to know the Lord through this program, and they've been open to that. And that's why you have the success rate that you have.
Right.
So it's so critical. And I mention it too because maybe this morning, you or someone is suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. They need help, and that help, I say it like this in a commercial spot. I've been saying it for years. Is there's light at the end of the tunnel. That light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. Go visit their website, oakridgedisciplehouse.com, and you can see Joshua's testimony and learn
awesome.
more. So
that's awesome.
So we love you, Josh, man. Good to hear from you. Quentin Glaze, he's our number one engager. He really is.
All right. Good morning.
Facebook issues these badges, virtual badges to people.
Yeah.
Quentin is
I got one, but I'm not gonna say which one. It's positive. I promise. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was alpha, and I don't know how because I don't comment on anything.
You're
I might hit a like or something.
I didn't even know you were on Facebook.
No. So it's if you want to catch me, I'm a little bit more Instagram because I like pictures.
Oh yeah.
Pictures, videos. It's the same thing that when you're reading a magazine or whatever. I will read through a magazine. I will look through a magazine because I only look at the pictures.
Sure.
That's the same thing when I did when I was a kid. It's the same thing with Instagram. So not a lot of caption type deal. And I don't know if you're like me. If you see and you're scrolling, I love you all. But if I see that your post, whenever I hit it, it opens like this, I will close it back and keep going. I mean, it can be the most important. I'll rarely read some of those, but man, that's a lot. And I'm like, if it has a good picture, I might go into it, but for the most part, no.
I see friends, and I'm like you, Alan. I see friends, and I love y'all too. But whenever it says "get ready for a long post,"
are we venting right now?
Yeah. But have you seen those? It's like, all right, guys, get ready for a long post. Sorry,
I might read the first paragraph, and if you get me, I'm like, I'll do that with a movie or a show that I'm watching. If you get me within the same, a small allotted period, like maybe the first 5 minutes or the first paragraph, I'll tune in. I'll stay there, and most of the time that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So don't ever start your post with "get ready for a long post."
Don't be my Facebook friend. We can be friends, but I'm not really on there a lot.
Well, good. Quentin, we say that. So, Quentin, man, good to see you, Quentin. Max Tolliver joining us. That's over at Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, I
Yes, sir.
believe. So yeah, good to
morning,
see.
Pastor.
And they got they're building over there, man. Praise God
Yeah,
for that.
come on.
So good morning to Max and his wife, man. We love you guys. And Max, come back on the show sometime, man. We had such fun with Max. He came on the show one time, and I want to invite you on a Friday sometime, Max, when we do our Faithful Friday segment. We have different pastors from out the community at 8:15 joining us. And Max, I'd love to have you on a Friday, so come hang out with us sometime again. Wally Harmon, good friend of mine, joining, saying amen and amen. Good morning, gentlemen. Good to see you on this morning. Trisha Powell joining us today. And Trisha, I think you won a gift card yesterday, so we got that for you.
Hey.
She won a gift card too. And you know what I love?
Back to back.
Well, I love being at first because now, Molly's there. And I said, Molly, do you mind if I just start doing the prize pickups over here? No, it's great.
Yeah,
so,
come on by.
So, one day we'll have cookies ready for you over there too. Maybe. So Alan was going to bake them. Alan's a good cookie baker. I heard.
No, I don't do baking. I do the things on the top of the stove. Anything that goes in the oven, it's almost a disaster.
Quentin Williams sending us a message. Music Man. You know Music Man?
Kind of.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He said, good morning, Huntsville. Choose happiness. I love, too, what Joshua, 160, he is watching. He said 160 guys have graduated through that program now.
Awesome.
So,
Beautiful.
Man,
That's awesome.
We love you, Josh, man.
Wow.
Jeff Norris. Who is that guy? Is that Coach Norris? Two of my favorite dudes in the world. Can one room hold such greatness? Alan Barnes is the GOAT. There you go.
Bad.
Yeah. he's bad.
Okay. I don't want to try to embarrass you, Jeff.
No, please do. That's all right.
No, I'm not going to do
Okay, all right.
You were waiting on it. I love it.
I was waiting. I was like, wait a minute. What do we got coming here?
Next time, I promise.
Yeah, we'll have that one. That will be one that we script, first to make sure. And I like Joshua, too. We were talking earlier about how that redemption comes from when you're broken. He said discipleship is the only way.
Come on.
Man, I love that. Molly James joining us. Good morning, Molly, saying good morning. Thanks for sharing. And that was on Joshua's testimony.
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
great to see you this morning. Josh put the website up there. We said it a while ago, oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Danny
awesome.
Webb joining us, man.
All right.
Brother Webb, welcome in, man.
Come on.
Good to see you. And Danny's a great man. Danny, we love you, man. Good to see you on this morning. And how about Weldon Wallace over Tom Fooleries?
Uh-oh.
Saying good morning, Alan and Rob.
My friend of me.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No. Love you, Weldon.
Yeah, he's saying good morning, Alan and Rob, man. So, you know what, Weldon? Just because you popped that comment on, I'm probably going to go get that buffet today.
Yeah, come on now.
That's a jingle, Alan, that you could come up with on the guitar and get
Don't
that.
tell him that because he's already trying to recruit me, and I'm trying to keep this a secret.
It could be, hey, come get that buffet today. Now that's Alan's like, no, man.
Moving on.
Yeah. That is a segue into where I wanted to go with this, though. So Alan is our worship pastor at FBC, and, you were talking earlier about just picking up a guitar there at the FLC when you had first met Garrett Sims. And where did the journey to music start for you? When did you find out that you just wanted to be involved in music? What age? Take us through that story.
Man, my grandmother and my mom were singers. My dad, I think he can sing a little bit. I don't know. He doesn't really. But my mom was a singer. She was a choir director back when I was growing up at the home church in Houston. My grandmother was in the choir. And during when I was about 7 years old, I started really gaining interest in drums because, kids love to bang around on pots, and I used to do that all the time too. If you see that, that's actually a real thing. I used to do that. So I remember walking up to our pastor's daughter at the time was our drummer at our church, and I would just go up there and just stare at these drums, and she's like, "You want to play?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm." And she just let me bang around on those thinking things like every Sunday after church. Every Sunday I'd go sit on her lap and I'd just start hitting, and that. Somehow rhythm got involved in that, and I think so. About the age of 8, I was starting to play for my church.
And who was this again? The lady again?
Her name was Dion. They've since moved a long time ago.
And she was just at this church.
She was our pastor's daughter.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And at the time, and they've since moved long ago to to pastor a church out in somewhere in Missouri. So that was even when I was still a kid. But so that was a 10-year journey. When I stopped playing and when I was in high school, when I graduated and moved up here. And then I got into an organization called Christ Ambassadors, Chi Alpha, and met some of the most loving people. And a few of those people who are still in working in campus ministry across the nation, actually. A few of them, and actually one of them is a missionary in Greece right now. They really poured into me, along with my small group leader, who's a campus missionary in West Virginia. His name is Sean. And what they did was, this was the only time that I know that they did this. They probably did it all the time, but we had I was invited to come to a worship class type of deal to maybe do like worship team type stuff, and I said, hey, I'd go, and I went for vocals. Right, I played drums. I quit piano after about a year when I was like 11. Didn't like it. I don't know why. I wish I would have stuck with it. I promise. I mean, there's so much that a piano can do. And then when I was sitting in the class and they were about to separate us from guitarist here, vocalist here, and my small group leader, who I went with, he had a guitar. And I was like, I didn't know you play. He goes, I don't. I came here to learn. I was like, okay. So the main point of that was to actually incorporate people doing like small house leader type deals, right? So leading small group worship and campfires and all that. So that was the main point of it. Start small, and then if you go bigger than that, that's totally fine. Mm-hmm. But start somewhere. And I said, so I remember one of the guys, Cullen, he was teaching. He's like, hey, if you play this is the structure of this chord. So they taught us 5 chords. And I was like sitting there like, forget vocals. I think I can sing. So I said, let me see that guitar. And he says, yeah. So it was a $99 Epiphone. And I was strumming. I was like, okay. And then, so I got really into it. So much so that was 2014. I went home for spring break and I asked my mom, I said, Mom, I'm a broke college student, right? Can you buy me a guitar? She goes, oh my gosh, how much is it? I said, $99. She goes, oh, that's fine. So I got me my first $99 Epiphone guitar. And I'd play that thing to my fingers calloused up and bled almost, learned every note possible that I could learn. And I learned really fast. And
were you learning like going online too, looking at videos? Or how were you learning?
Kinda, but not really. I was actually learning on my own. All I needed to do was see a chord structure and then start to kind of find out some skills, I guess.
Yeah,
what have
awesome, man.
And so I'd rarely go on that deal. Ultimate Guitar Tabs, that's an awesome app if you want to get started. That's why I'm not a good teacher, because I probably learned some wrong things. But some people will be like, can you teach me how to play guitar? I'm like, no. I'll teach you 5 chords. I'll teach you exactly the way I learned.
Yeah.
So, no, it was really awesome just getting to do that. And over time, then this is where it started. And I don't mean to take all day, but
no, it's fine.
I think, Good Friday of that year, we had we asked the pastor over there First Assemblies of God if we could do like a deal where we the people who were graduating from that little small class, we would lead the service. And we went up in like waves, teams. Some people played guitar, some people did this, and we led a whole little service, and it was awesome. I still have it on my Instagram page, and we did that. And then sometime after, one of our pastors asked me, hey, Alan, would you like to lead for our last, it was in May, our last leadership function, which was about 200 or so leaders. And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, he does know I just started playing guitar like 2 months ago, right? Not even, like,
wow.
it wasn't even perfected, nowhere near. I had to get things that were really easy to play. I could throw a capo on there and blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay. So then, like, the next year, the next school year came up, and then he asked me to do it again. I was like, whatever. And then during that summer, same thing at camp. They were like, hey, we were trying to put together a worship team. Would you like to? I'm like, what are y'all seeing in me? Like, I didn't ask for this. And the guy was like, those who are faithful with few will be faithful and given much. And I'm sitting there like, something's happening. And honestly, hindsight 2020, I can say that was just God's faithfulness, just moving from one deal to the next in my life. And after camp comes up, they asked me to do it again. And then they said, hey, here's my first time leading worship. So at that time, we had 2 services. We had, it was a lot of us. We would have like maybe 400 or 500 people in a night. Wow. And we had to have 2 of those.
And where was this at again?
That was at First. Is it First Assembly?
Yeah, here in Huntsville.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And we had, that's when they would host those services. And I'm sitting there like, man. And then one of the first songs that I got to lead was actually the first song that I showed when I played in Garrett's office that day whenever it was Good Good Father. And I was sitting there, I'm on the stage and we're rehearsing for this deal for the first service because there was another one right after because there were too many people in the room that couldn't hold everybody. And the guy's named Cullen, and he says, Alan, you want to lead the song? I said, what? That's not what I played. That's not what we rehearsed. That's not what? So I did it, and it was just it was really overwhelming just hearing that many students sing back at you where you're overcome and you can barely hear yourself because they're singing so loudly. And then, long story short, moving forward, there's just been a couple of cents of that. And then I get to First Baptist, start off in once again in a smaller setting.
Hey, can you sing here?
And so then so I started doing student ministry, and then as we went along in the summers, we had these little Wednesday night deals like prayer, Bible study, and Garrett and I would like do some music. I play guitar and we both sing, and we did that for the duration of the summer, like 6 weeks or so. And we get to the end of that, and we're transitioning into our regular Wednesday night activities. And in August, I remember a lady, if you First Baptist, you remember Miss Ruby Tipton, older lady, and I'd been there for a few months now and doing that on stage every week. And she was sitting near the door, and she grabs me, she says, "Honey," you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know those
guys. She
guys.
says, let me ask you a question. I said, "Yes, ma'am." She's the sweetest lady ever. And she said, "Do you know the Lord Jesus Christ is your personal Savior?" And that blew me away because I was like, in my mind, I was like, "Lady, I wouldn't be up there singing if I didn't know." I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she says, "Okay, that was the first question. Second question is this, baby, you want to join the church? You need to join the church." And I said, I've been thinking about it at that time. I'd been there and been working, and serving, and doing these deals on Wednesdays. And she said that, and I said, "Okay." And a few weeks later, I joined.
How cool is that, man?
And so then, as we went along, and it broke my heart that she passed away, and then ensuing in towards 2018, we started another service, and then I served with Garrett as the associate whenever he stepped into the worship pastor role, and just learning and getting to know him, and even more so when we started working together very closely. Meanwhile, I'm still working at a 9 to 5 or more, if you know what I mean, 4 hours down there in Conroe as a chiropractic assistant.
You're listening to Dolly Parton, working 9 to 5 on your way, right?
That's it. More from 7 to 7. And then having to drive to and fro, back and forth between
My car's using up gas.
That's a lot. And then still doing, but I loved it. And then, as things went along, I loved it so much on top of coaching, working a full-time job. And after I graduated in 2017, but doing all that, serving alongside in worship ministry, and then eventually college ministry in 2020, I was like, man, God, what are you doing? And there were so many relationships that came about doing that, and through coaching and through Alpha, and just watching that whole deal grow. And in 2022, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think we may have talked about this before, but in 2022, our worship pastor Garrett, and they moved on, and that their last Sunday was Easter Sunday that year, and I remember meeting with Pastor Jason. I said, man, I may not know every single thing, but I will do my best and I will do my darnest to accommodate whatever you need. And so we went along. I mean, that time period. I mean, we talked a lot. Was probably the hardest time period of my life because Garrett was also our student pastor, and
he was a close friend too.
Right? I mean,
you're happy for your friend that he's moving on.
And some people ask me, "Hey, do you miss?" I'm like, "No, we talk all the time." I ain't remember him. So no, but it was hard from at least about April to July or so. Because I'm still doing college ministry. My hours had increased at my job, and I was, working 7 a.m., 7 p.m. or so, and then helping propel along student ministry. I mean, we still had to do VBS. We still had camp to get to, and trying to help all those things go along. And meanwhile, God is working in the background. I'm like, man. And so then I get the call, and then going through this whole deal with worship as well. And so, and interimly doing this whole deal. And then I get the call from Linda, our executive admin at our church. And
L-Dub. We just give her a nickname, L-Dub.
L-Dub.
L-Dub. Danny let her know that's the new name, L-Dub.
And she called me the night of the Sunday we got back from camp, which was like, oh man, camp was a lot to get up to and get through. Shout out to all student pastors around, because you know how camp week is and summers are. It gets really busy. And we got back from camp, and that Sunday we were telling our testimony how God moved at camp, and we had some students give their life to the Lord. And that night, Linda called me and says, here's the offer. We want to have you. And it was pretty much unanimous across the board. I mean, I wept my eyes out, because it was like,
wow.
I could literally see, like, what were you doing, the whole time, Lord? Like, what were you doing? Why? And I think about, I'm getting emotional, but I think about Psalms 8, where, all these things are set in place and all these things are set in motion by the Lord. And David just asked a question. He says, what is man that you are mindful of him? And I was like, man, I'm trusted with something. Like, why do you trust me? But whatever you trust me with, I'll do that.
Amen, man.
I'll take that and I'll run with it. And it's been an awesome journey over the day. We ain't done yet, so
no, sir.
Man, it's been awesome and incredible. We have an awesome team of individuals at our church and on our worship team that just love Jesus and want to see the vision take place, and that's under our pastor's leadership. But it's just really awesome to. I tell man, people I feel like 20% of my job is worship ministry. The other 80% is the discipleship. Like Josh mentioned, the discipleship and the loving on people, getting to hang out with students and the coaching and all that. Man, it's so beautiful to watch all of that come together. And I'm like, worship ministry almost, I wouldn't say in that deal takes a back burner, but man, it's so cool that it enhances that. And it's like, man, because we have these things called plumb lines in each of our ministries, where we have these things or these ideas that we go about and we want to share with our team of individuals that this is our purpose, this is our goals of our ministries. And one of those deals is we're people, or we are people that also spend a small portion of your life on a stage or in the spotlight, but the other percentage of your life, how you spend time with your spouse, how do you love your family, how do you disciple people well, those things are what matters to the Lord, the day-to-day, the small individual things in your own personal lives. The stage is one thing, and I think once you get to the stage, it's nothing but a testimony of what has happened the other 6 days of the week. And all this is we're releasing what God has already done in your life throughout the week. Man, so I think that's the beautiful thing about worship ministry. So and if you're a worship pastor or you're a worship leader watching, I encourage you that just to stay in the faith. It's challenging, but yet it is so rewarding. Not just because people come up and tell you, hey man, good job with this, or great song here. No, but because I think the fruits of it is when that's just the fruit of it. You get to sow during the week.
Yeah. So. That's good, Alan, man. Well, man, you're getting me all choked up over here hearing your story, man. So it's Alan's a good dude, and and I talk about this a lot too. I love how the Lord is just tremendously moving throughout Walker County and this community. And friends, I want to encourage you this morning. We're only limited. I've said this numerous. We're only limited by what's in between these two things that these headphones are covering, and that's our brain. We're only limited by what we think. God has given each of you unique talents and abilities, and I want to encourage you this morning to use those to reach people, obviously to glorify Him. But those talents are so important, and if you've got something in your life, maybe you're nervous about it, maybe you're introverted, that's okay. Just allow those talents to be used and watch what God's going to do in your life. Just like Alan, here we go, picking up a guitar and 2 months later sitting here leading worship.
10 years ago, as of last month, actually.
It's crazy to think about that, but it's not crazy because when you put it in the faith perspective, it's not crazy because our God's a big God and anything is possible. So just want to encourage you and leave you with a little bit of that this morning, the inspiration that you've got a talent, and the miracle too is this. you're breathing this morning. You know, life is such a precious thing, and the fact that you're taking a breath right now and breathing, that right there is a miracle in itself. So think about those things as you go throughout this day. We still got a little bit more, and then we'll wrap up here in a moment. Before we take our final break, I love what Jeff said. Coach Norris said this. We always come up with an idea for a T-shirt on this show, and this may be a T-shirt idea of the day here. A quote from Alan Barnes. All you need is 5 chords and the Holy Spirit.
Come on,
man. That could be on a coffee mug in the morning. See,
I just started something.
Yeah. So, and I love what Jeff said too. He said, seriously though, Alan is our campus worship leader at Alpha, and he has greatly impacted our students. He can embarrass me anytime.
Come on.
Perfect.
All right.
We'll take a break and conjure up what that'll be. No,
Absolutely.
just kidding. So we will take one final break. If you got any other questions, maybe you got a question for Alan or something you want to say, please send those in. One final opportunity to interact with us. And before we take that break, text in the keyword Magnolia. We've got a $25 gift card coming your way today, courtesy of Cafe Texan. Hey, lunch on Cafe Texan. Our great friend over there, Tiffany Gobble, is the general manager. And we appreciate the partnership we have with our friends at Cafe Texans. Text in the keyword Magnolia along with your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. That number is 936-339-0139. As always, our Thankful Thursday brought to you by our friends at FBC Huntsville. More information online at fbchuntsville.org. One final break. We'll be back. Alan and I will wrap it up. We'll call our winner after this. Stay with us. A little bit more to come. This is your show. It's Good Morning Huntsville here on a Thankful Thursday. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas. Hey friends, Rob Hipp here for Elliott's Jewelers. I wanted to take a brief moment to let you know if you're looking for someone in the jewelry business right here in Huntsville, look no further than my good friend Elliott Herslick. He's helped me out time and time again, whether it was that wedding band that I needed a while back or that special ring for Bridget. He's always been there for me. He goes above and beyond. He's also a person who gives back to the local community. I like to do business with those who give back, and that's exactly what Elliott Herslick of Elliott's Jewelers does. Hey, if you feel like you don't know what to do, maybe you don't know where to turn, what to look for, Elliott is the person. Again, it's Elliott's Jewelers. You can visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com for more information. And when you call him, let him know that you heard from his good friend Rob Hipp. Again, it's Rob here for Elliott's Jewelers. Visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com. The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
All right, Huntsville and friends from afar. Maybe you're joining us in, I don't know, we've had people We're not on Spirit Radio FM right now because the production computer's actually in my truck. It's coming up to the church finally.
That's a good place for it.
Yeah, so it won't go down. But maybe you're joining us from all over this morning. We want to welcome you in as we wrap up. Alan Barnes joining us. He is the coach over at Alpha Omega, also a worship pastor at First, and we're so thankful to have him on today. As you're already awake today, 9:03 is the time. Overcast sky, 74 degrees today. More thunderstorms in the forecast. We'll get up to the mid-80s overnight. Rain chances continue. Chance of storms at 30%, lows in the low 70s. We'll be back in the mid-80s tomorrow, but those rain chances and thunderstorms increase on your Friday. Some storms could be severe, and unfortunately that rain and storms will stay in the forecast through much of the upcoming week. We did look at one of the forecast models. That doesn't really say much, but the rain should break next Thursday just in time for Rays of Hope. Again, we want to encourage you to come out and be a part of that. It's going to take place at the HEB parking lot, and this is on June the 6th, our second annual Rays of Hope. Had one last year. Every year we change up the logo, a new opportunity to come out and get a new T-shirt. Start collecting those. Hopefully we'll have 50 of them.
That's awesome.
In 48 years, we'll have 50 shirts. That's the goal, right, Alan? So this will be at HEB. Big thanks to Zach Berry over there at HEB and Elliott's Jewelers for helping us put this on as well. But our second annual Rays of Hope happening from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the HEB parking lot on Thursday, June the 6th. All you got to do is drive through. We're accepting donations of canned food items, anything that's non-perishable. Man, you got ramen noodles? Bring them. Bring rice. Bring anything that you can put in the pantry that won't go bad over time. Those foods go to Good Shepherd Mission. We also take part of it and donate it over to Safe House. Maybe you have clothes specifically for young adults and also for babies or even young children. We've got a family that we want to bless, the Peak family. And so any clothes that you have for boys, I think 8 and 10 years old, babies, I would say, the baby right now is 3 or 4 months. So I'd even go up to 6 months. Anything under 12 would be fine. And also gift card donations to Home Depot, Lowe's, cash gift card donations. We'll accept all of that. Anything that's valued at $20 or more, we are going to hook you up with a limited edition Rays of Hope T-shirt, also a swag bag that'll be filled full of goodies from area businesses. If you give a cash donation of $20 or more, you'll receive those 2 items. Plus, you'll also be entered into our hourly raffles. And Elliott's Jewelers has been so gracious, man. We've got 12 hourly raffles. So every hour if you come through at 7, you're going to be entered in that 7 a.m. raffle. If you come at 8, you'll be entered into the 8 a.m. raffle. And we're going to draw names from those hours. You'll receive jewelry valued at up to $200, including ice cream from Bluebell, man. So it don't get much better than that. And then on top of that, you'll also be entered into an overall raffle for a pair of diamond earrings valued at $900. And if you decide, hey, I want to give a little bit more than $20 cash donation, if you give 30 or more, not only are you going to be entered in for all that, Alan, but you're also going to be entered in for the grand prize of some more diamond jewelry earrings valued at $1,500. So
that's awesome.
Big shout out to Elliot Herzlich for doing that. He just loves this community, loves to give back. And all the proceeds are going to go to Safe House. They're going to go to Care Center Huntsville. They're going to go to Tomorrow's Promise Montessori School, specifically the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. They're also going to go to HISD Social Services and Good Shepherd Mission. And then the 3 families that we wanted to help bless are the Peak family, the Smith family, and the McAdam family. So this year, a very special Rays of Hope. Last year, we did it later in the summer to the end of July. This year, we said we wanted to get it started before the summer really gets going. That way, a lot of the youth, especially with HISD Social Services, they can go out and enjoy the summer. Sally Dowis, who's getting ready to retire, her and her staff, they do such a fantastic job with our youth here in the community. So please come out from 11 to 1. We're going to have hot dogs. Sam Houston women's basketball is going to be there. Later in the day, the LEAP ambassadors from Sam Houston State University. And if you want to come just hang and be a part of it, let us know. We do have 2 final opportunities to also sponsor an hour. We have the 5 p.m. and the 6 p.m. hour to sponsor. It's only $150. And again, those proceeds help go back to supporting this cause this year. And for that hourly sponsorship, we're going to go live every hour, and you'll have an opportunity to align your business with a business that gives back in the community, helping out these families. So just wanted to mention all that, Alan. A lot going on, and I know some of our youth are going to come out and be a part of that. And we're looking forward to it, man. So let me get Alan out there on the stage with a guitar, make up a hymn for us.
So you're doing that thing that Weldon does.
Yeah, we do that. So.
Don't talk to Weldon Wallace.
You know how they had that button back in the day? It was like Staples. That was easy. You remember that?
Yep.
We're going to make one for Alan that you push it, and it's going to say, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be and then we're going to make a secondary button. It's going to go, I got bronchitis. And if you don't know what I'm looking at, go look up Sweet Brown Apartment Fire, and you will laugh for about the next 4 or 5 hours.
How old is that video?
That's probably 10, 15 by now, man. So we appreciate everybody joining us. Alan, before we head over to our 0 Degree phone and text line, I got a story that I want to read to you.
All right.
A little feel-good story. And this kind of coincides with our power outages that we're having here in this community. A lot of linemen from Entergy and other companies are out working right now. Well, the line workers are not only out there restoring power, at least in New Zealand, they're also helping motorists that are trapped in floodwaters. This is a good news story that comes from Rotorua, New Zealand. It was 2 brave line workers being praised by local law enforcement there. They saved a motorist who was trapped in rapidly rising floodwaters in that community. It occurred back around 1 o'clock on May the 21st. It was a woman who called emergency services, reporting that her car was stranded on a flooded section of a road there near that community. As the water levels rose, her vehicle began to float, and then it started to sink. The driver unable to open her doors and windows, and water was starting to reach up to her chest. She was in immediate danger. The police emergency communicator there, or what we call here dispatcher, stayed on the line with the distressed driver while deploying units. Man, a helicopter showed up, a swiftwater rescue team to the scene. But before all those resources arrived, how about this? A lines crew that was working nearby witnessed this situation and took immediate action. The 2 workers leapt into the floodwaters. They broke the car window. They pulled the driver to safety just in time.
Wow.
And then, of course, you know how these floods work. Moments later, that vehicle completely submerged. Only the roof was showing. According to the sergeant there, he commended the rescuers in a heartfelt social media post saying, quote, "We cannot thank those rescuers enough. They likely saved a life today, and a family's loved one gets to come home tonight. Had they not been there, it quickly could have gone the other way. Myself and the other officers who attended, as well as the woman they rescued, would like to say a massive thank you to those workers for their efforts today. They were very humble and downplayed their efforts when retelling the story. They put themselves at risk to save a stranger who will be forever grateful."
Wow.
Don't matter what job you have,
Come on.
there's always an opportunity for you to help somebody.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be a high water rescue person. You could be a guy that's working the lines. And I wanted to give a shout out to all the linemen this morning.
Absolutely.
Entergy deployed like 400 crews across the area. That quickly rose to over 800 once they realized how serious the situation was. And, man, there you go. That's your feel-good story out of New Zealand today.
That's awesome.
You ever been out of the country, Alan?
I have not. I have not had the opportunity. Hopefully soon. Man. I love the travel.
Where would you want to go? What's your go-to destination?
I don't know.
Just like I'll just stay here.
Venice, Italy is beautiful. Like the city on like water and all that. Italy, England. I almost had an opportunity to go to Cairo one year. This what got me. This is totally the Lord humbling me down because I was going to go to a trip in Cairo, and then I had some leaders that said, "Hey, I know you want to go to Cairo, but would you like to come with us to McAllen, Texas, on this little short-term mission trip?" I was like,
"It's not Egypt."
I was like, "McAllen, yeah." Exactly. I was like, "Nah, man, like take me across the waters." I'm like, I'm over here trying to get all this stuff, and then they're like, "Yeah, we weren't." Sorry, that question, we can rephrase that. It wasn't actually a question. So yeah, we moved in. I'm like, oh, great. Man, I went down there and had the best time of my life.
Oh, I love it, man.
And it was awesome. And so, yeah, don't doubt what the Lord's doing. Just say yes.
Alan, I want to say this real quick. Again, Alan's a very humble man, but we did have a text also come in on our 0 Degree text line. Mm-hmm. And this person said, Coach Barnes doesn't just show up. He shows up with a smile. He leads our worship Tuesday through Friday at AOA and is a beautiful praise with all of our children or all of our students. There is no doubt that God is using him for awesome kingdom work. That is from Brittany Langley.
Miss Langley.
Texting in this morning.
Hey, the kids do this right here.
Yeah. What time do you do the worship at?
We start that assembly for the whole school at about, what was that, 9-ish.
We better get you out of here.
Well, no, the school's out.
Oh, that's right. I'm sitting here thinking we gotta
Like, what you? I was like, what?
I was getting nervous.
No, man, we the school, like, what was that? Last Friday, I think that was it. So,
I say that, and you like dart out the door, and then you come, wait a minute, school's over with for the summer, man. So appreciate that, Brittany. Thanks for sending that message. Let's head over to that phone and text line real quick. 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. We got a winner today, $25 gift card coming your way, courtesy of our friends at Cafe Texan.
Is this like a prank call?
It sometimes is.
I heard that one that you did backfire.
Hello?
Hello, this is Medea. What is their name? What's that lady's name that says hello on the phone?
Medea.
Medea. This is Medea. Hello.
Hello. This is Lita Thompson.
Oh, Miss Thompson. The sweetest.
Who is she?
The sweetest lady in town, Miss Lita Thompson, on the phone today. My goodness, we were just talking about you, earlier in the show, Lita.
And you didn't have to do that.
Oh.
We work to help the community, period.
Yes, ma'am. Well, God bless you, Miss Thompson. So good to hear you. If you went to Lee Barron, you would always see Miss Thompson over there. She held that down with surround sound over there for Mr. Sam. So how have you been doing?
Doing well.
Well, it's so good to hear from you and Miss Thompson. I got a $25 gift card coming your way today, courtesy of Cafe Texan. How does that sound?
Shut the front door. That is awesome.
That's it.
Do you know Alan Barnes? Have you ever met Alan before, Miss Thompson?
I have never, but beautiful young man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
I
that.
love the show, and he came a long way, but God is good.
Come on, all the time. That's what we say, right?
Amen. I love what and Miss Thompson, she posts every Sunday. I love what you post there from your, and I want to give you an opportunity to plug your church real quick, but you always post a picture of the pulpit there, and you always say one more time. Can you tell us a little bit about the story behind that?
Well, God allows us every day another chance. But when you're able to go into the house of the Lord and worship Him, He gives you one more time.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Because we never know when it's our last time.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well,
God is so good.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do you a favor because sometimes I'm able to go deliver these prizes, and I know you're across town. So sometime today, I'll text you a little bit later, and I'll hand deliver that prize to you. How about that? You don't need to come and pick it up. I'll bring it to you.
Well, praise the Lord. I thank you so much, and you're doing a wonderful job, Rob.
Well, we appreciate you.
Like I said, if you ever need us, Dr. Douglas Institute or Lee Barron, just give me a call because we're willing and able.
You bet. Well, Miss Thompson, before we let you go, we always ask our winners this. What do you love most about Huntsville? What makes this community a special place?
Huntsville is just, the people are awesome. And I work in the community a lot, and it's just a blessing. It's quiet. My kids were raised here, and I just love Huntsville. Beautiful people, and that's what makes a difference in a town, are the people.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I agree with that.
Amen. And Miss Thompson, real quick, where do you go to church? Do you want to say a couple words about your church real quick?
Yes, I go to Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church in Midway, Texas.
Okay.
We're a little down south from the Ferguson unit. Pastor K.W. Donaldson is our pastor. And I'd love to invite anybody who want to come and worship the Lord with us. Our door at Hopewell is always open.
Well, amen. Our prayer is that every Bible-believing, Jesus-loving church in our community and everywhere is overflowing with people. So that's our prayer every day.
Because that's our mission, to bring those to Christ.
That's it.
That's our mission every day.
Yeah, we're not in competition. Amen.
Yep.
Amen.
Well,
that's right. Saving souls is priority.
Yes, ma'am. There's a place for everybody.
Yep.
Every person.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Miss Thompson, we love you. God bless you, and congratulations, and thanks for texting to winning.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Man, Miss Thompson's such a sweet lady. I got to know her at Lee Barron back in the day. She pretty much kind of ran the show over there for Sam for so many years. So she's slinging Nikes back in the day, So we love you so much, Miss Thompson, and great to have you. So Matthew Johnson is joining us. He used to be here in Huntsville, but he went all the way to Minnesota, don't you know? Oh, you betcha, up there in the frozen tundra, eh? That's kind of a Canada.
I was about to say we still in America, brother.
Yeah. Matthew, I think I just totally butchered all of that. But
we can't cut that, can we?
Yeah, he said, "Wow, you're still live. Hi, I'm never able to get on during your normal time because of work. So see, that's all right. So, well, Alan, any final things, man? It's been fun today. I've enjoyed having you, getting to know you a little bit more, and man, I'm excited about what the good Lord's doing in your life, and it's been fun, man.
It has been, man. It's a journey, not a destination, and I'm down for it. Taking some time off from school right now. Football is about to get started Tuesday. So shout out to any athletes that are watching. We're about to go through the ringer. So football is awesome. Church is awesome. We got a lot of strategic planning to do. And for just encouragement for other churches, keep fighting the good fight. Keep doing what you're doing. You are impacting people's lives. And let's all get on one accord. Let's stay there and move forward. We're building kingdom, not castles, right?
Amen. We're not talking about a Honda either when we say get on one accord. So.
I used to have a Honda Accord. That thing blew up on me, man. It was terrible.
Should have bought a Kia, but I bought a Honda.
Should have bought a Honda, but I bought a Kia.
Yeah, that's exactly. I had a Kia Optima, man. So that'll wrap it up here on the show today. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Our Faithful Friday segment continues. Billy Cawthon of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. So make sure that you tune in and join us as we continue to celebrate all the good things happening here in our community. Also, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter online at HelloHuntsvilleTX.com. That newsletter now going out to almost 1,600 people in our community, and we recap the week and the stories that we published on the website and also upcoming events for the weekend. So it's a great weekend planning guide as well. Appreciate Alan Barnes being here with us. Come visit us at First. Again, Bible study for all ages starting at 9:30 and service at 10:45.
You got it.
Brother Bay will get you out. Brother Bay, he'll get you out by noon. So that's what everyone. One time it was 12:02, and I lied to the people, so I apologize for that. But for the most part, you'll be out of there by noon. But the good news is you won't want to leave at noon. Honestly, it's such a good family fun environment, and we always go find somewhere good to eat afterwards, too. So
that's it, even if that's the house.
That's right. That'll wrap it up. We'll be at it tomorrow. Please join us. I'll try to be here 7:30 tomorrow morning. And until next time, we love you, Huntsville. As I end every broadcast, I say this the same way. I've been doing it for 10 years, ending broadcasts like this. But please listen. We're truly not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We really, really do need each other. So please lend a hand of support. Provide a word of encouragement. I promise somebody out there this morning needs you. Until tomorrow morning, good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. We'll see you back at it at 7:30. Thanks, Alan.
See you.